The mandate given by the First Presidency and the presiding bishopric is to only focus on financial growth. EPA employees are told that the money will be used after the second coming of Jesus Christ or during Armageddon right before he would come again.
Travis Wayne Goodsell, section 101 of the Doctrine and Covenants, starting in verse 43. And now I will show unto you a parable, that ye may know my will concerning the redemption of Zion. So, Joseph Smith is using a parable to prophesy of future events. Is any of this confusing? This is a prophecy of Joseph Smith. Critics have complained that Joseph Smith had made other prophecies. None of them came to pass. Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints says prophecies of the Bible have come to pass, and the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints is the fulfillment. So here's one for both of you. Redemption of Zion. Thus, millennial Zion. The definition of redemption is the act of saving or being saved from sin, error, or evil. That's a more religious term. 2, the act of regaining or gaining possession of something in exchange for payment or clearing a debt. That seems more likely for this particular case because it's millennial Zion, gaining possession of Zion. Okay? But yeah, our redemption, being saved from sin, error, or evil. What is that evil? So let's proceed. A certain nobleman had a spot of land, very choice, and he said unto his servants, Go ye unto my vineyard, even upon this very choice piece of land. Mormons know this to be America, United States of America. You argue where the location of Zion is supposed to be, but nonetheless, hold on. And plant 12 olive trees. 12 is similar to the house of Israel. 12 sons of the house of Israel. This is Mormon doctrine. We should all know that this is Mormons. Mormons are to be planted in the United States of America in Zion for the latter days. That's why the church started under Joseph Smith for that purpose. Nobody should be complaining and arguing. Everybody should be in agreement, right? and set watchmen round about them, build a tower, that one may overlook the land round about, to be a watchman upon the tower. That mine olive trees may not be broken down when the enemy shall come to spoil and take upon themselves the fruit of the house of Israel. Vineyard. Here's exclusive information for you that we kept a sacred secret, and I'm revealing it. I was a part of the revision of the footnotes of the scriptures in 2000, in those early years. And we were told that it was understood that the church office building, a big tall tower that is shorter than was originally desired to be, and there's a history behind that one, having to do with debts and investing. If you build it, they will come, philosophies being spread around, and they chose not to build it. Nonetheless, we were on the 24th floor. We were told that that tower is this watchtower, not the Jehovah's Witnesses watchtower. But that's why they call themselves the watchtower. And so, yeah, it was a great view overlooking the valley when there was no pollution blocking the view. Same with Ensign Peak, when there's no fire preventing people from going up there to look at the view. I was there when I first got to Utah, and then I went up again some years later and saw the development of the land. When I first went up, the whole southwestern part was all vegetation, and then filled with houses, of which I was a part of at that time. They've plastered homes all over the valley, and it's still not even enough. And the crisis keeps getting worse and worse. Nonetheless, so just so that you understand, this is how the church perceives it. The headquarters has the tower for the purpose of viewing the valley to fulfill this parable of Joseph Smith. 46. Now the servants of the nobleman went and did as their Lord commanded, and planted the olive trees. So Mormons are not the servants, despite the manual. Who would be the servants? Mormons. The apostles, leaders of the church. Any confusion on this? Servants are the leaders of the church. They are being ordered to do things for the purpose of protecting Mormons, the flock. And built a hedge round about. Well, we got mountains here in this valley. And set watchmen and began to build a tower. And while they were yet laying the foundation thereof, the servants, leaders of the church, began to say among themselves, and what need hath my Lord of this tower? and consulted for a long time, saying among themselves, what need hath my Lord of this tower? See, if they had built it to the size that they wanted to, it still would be filled to capacity with all of the needs of the current church. They, to this day, don't have enough room in the tower. Seeing this is a time of peace, no one is daring to molest or make afraid the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Oops, I just couldn't keep my mouth shut, could I? You strung us along and deceived us. You couldn't be faith promoting for the church, could you? We're not done yet. Might not this money be given to the exchangers? Hey, that's what Judah did. Hey, that's what Judas did. Hey, the names are the same. Hey, they're both phonetically the same with Utah. Interesting. How did Joseph Smith know about this? For there is no need of these things. Let's get rich. All is well in Zion. We don't need to fear an enemy. If you're hoarding money, you do need to fear an enemy, because they're going to want to steal it from you. When they find out that you're hoarding money and you got a lot of money, people want to steal it from you. It's a no-brainer, and yet evil is dumb. Continual pattern throughout history. And while they were at variance one with another, they became very slothful. And they hearkened not unto the commandments of the Lord. So what were they doing in conferences? Because if they're not hearkening unto the commandments of the Lord, they're speaking their own will upon the Mormons. And then here we go. And the enemy came by night, broke down the hedge. Servants, leaders of the church, of the noblemen arose and were affrighted and fled. If they're working, they're going to have to beeline it down North Temple to get to the airport. Hope that the enemy does not block their way. If they're at their homes, they're all going to have to somehow make it to the airport. Nelson and Irene are from Bountiful. They're going to have to go down the one road, back road, to get to the airport. That's the quickest route out of Utah. Now, if the enemy knows this, the enemy usually will take out the airport to prevent people from fleeing from the airport. Just depends on how big of an attack it is. It's being made very clear here. The enemy destroyed their works and broke down the olive trees. That means this whole valley destroyed. This is the prophecy. Will it happen, Mormons? Or do you believe that this is a time of peace, that the church should continue to invest in Ensign Peak Advisors and do the same pattern with every other single source of income, and just continue to hoard money? For you don't have need of protecting Mormons here in this valley. It's just a survival of the fittest. The one who's the strongest and richest and most connected are the ones who should survive, and the homeless and the poor should be destroyed. so as not to pull down the rest of the state. Okay. 19 July 1840, Joseph Smith gave a sermon, and the scribe was a female, Martha Jane Knowlton Corray. This never got published. Brigham Young refused to publish it. And so, he says in it, then the enemy shall come as a thief in the night. He's referring to section 101, verse 51, that I just went over with you. And so, the people who did the Joseph Smith papers left it blank and say, blank here. That's from section 101, verse 51. They don't know their scriptures. They didn't know to reference this. I'm doing it for you. Here you go. So you need to put verse 51 in that blank space, because this is what Joseph Smith is referring to. Scatter the servants abroad when the seed of these 12 olive trees are scattered abroad. So are Mormons scattered? Yeah. Will they be scattered if an enemy comes in? Yeah. People have to flee for their lives. They'll be scattered, be branching out all different directions to flee the enemy. Depending on how skilled and evil the enemy is, will depend on how many Mormons will survive when they flee. Those on the east side will have to flee into the mountains. Those on the north will have to flee north. Those on the south have to flee south. Those on the west side have to flee west. Unless the enemy comes and surrounds. Then how are Mormons going to escape? This is a very vulnerable position. This could be a murder pit if the enemy is coordinated and militarily skilled enough to do so, knowing to take out the infrastructure and the utilities and the first responders, communications, transportation. So depending on how skilled the enemy is at being the enemy will make a big difference. But Mormons are already scattered all over the earth, but obviously when a destruction hits, there will be more scattering. This nation, the United States of America, will be on the very verge of crumbling to pieces and tumbling to the ground. And when the Constitution is upon the brink of ruin, are you aware of what's going on? Constitution is written. There are certain rights that are written. So in order to destroy the Constitution, it requires an enemy to do things against the Constitution and not be punished for them. It requires that laws get created in violation of the Constitution. It requires SCOTUS to not judge according to the Constitution and make judgments in violation thereof. Legislative, executive, judicial. We should all know this. Those who get citizenship have to take a test to know this. So what has been going on? Women no longer have rights. Do you not know this? Women, are you unaware that you no longer have rights? Men's sperm have rights. You do not. Are you not aware of this? Fetus and embryo have rights. You do not. Are you not aware of this? Are you being fooled by the deep state Dems into thinking that you can get it back with your vote this election? What do you mean get it back? Who took it away from you? Why aren't the president and the vice president who's running for president doing what's necessary to restore your rights that were taken away from you? That was an act of insurrection. And yet, you're getting all hyped up. Oh, we're going to vote for Kamala and she'll give us all back our rights. If they're not doing it now as the executive, why do you expect them to do it if they get elected as the executive? Oops. Somebody fell for a little con that's going on. The only way to get your rights back during a coup is to invoke the Insurrection Act. And they are not doing their oath of office to save America and the Constitution. But before this, the time shall be when these who are now my friends, Brigham Young and his 12 apostles were in the audience. There's a reason why. Shall become my enemies. Then the enemy shall come as a thief in the night. Remember Judah and Judas? Why is that term used? What does that term mean? Paying the Judas price. Being a Judas. A Judas priest. A betrayer who pays to destroy their own, who they are supposed to protect. Shall seek to take my life, and there are those now before me who will more furiously pursue me, more diligently seek my life, and be more bloodbath thirsty, bloodbath atonement upon my track than ever were the Missouri mobbers in 1838. Joseph, you were betrayed by false brethren. Section 122. You say among yourselves, as did them of old time. Is it I, and is it I? That exact wording only comes from the Gospel of Mark, chapter 14. The others have a different wording. This is referring to the latter-day supper of the Lamb of the wedding feast at the Zion Temple. Joseph Smith was brilliant. He tied it to his day and also tied it to the enemy in the latter days. The same people who have the plot to overthrow the government in the latter days, to pay the Judas price. Brigham Young and his 12. All Judas. The Book of Mormon, in verse 4, 1 Nephi, chapter 1, gives us an event from history when Zedekiah was put on the throne of Jerusalem by the kingdom of Babylon. Babylon had conquered Jerusalem, put Zedekiah on the throne. We know that this date was the 16th of March, 597 BCE. And so we have Lehi's whole story account, abbreviated, abridged. And finally, in chapter 2 Nephi, chapter 1, also verse 4, Lehi sees in vision the destruction of Jerusalem. We know that the date was the 9th of Av in the Babylonian calendar, also used by the Jews currently. 586 BCE. The enemy came in and destroyed them on the 9th of Av, 586 BCE. Babylon first came in on the 7th of Av. That was the invasion. And so, as Monday night at 6 p.m., according to the Babylonian calendar, that starts the 13th, which is the 9th of Av. Because it's not on the Sabbath, it's okay to have it on that day. If the 9th of Av falls on the Sabbath, the Jews celebrate the 9th of Av or have a memorial service, because this is tragic, on the 10th of Av. This is how they do it. And so the 7th of Av would be tonight, 2 days before. This is Saturday night, Sunday, and then Monday. But our technologies these days, you can invade and destroy all on the same day, depending on how skilled and talented you are, depending on what your purpose and reasoning is. Right, Putin? Putin invaded Ukraine on my daughter's birthday. He was paid the Judas price to betray Ukraine. Anybody guess who? In a major city, yet to be determined, in Russia. And so, the Book of Mormon is literal history true, right? There are cows somewhere out there. We just have to keep digging up America to find them. No, you don't. We already have the cows. Prophecy fulfilled. Yeah, you missed it. Because in verses 8 through 10, in Lehi's second vision, where a messenger whose brightness is the sun at noonday, and he's a messenger, Malachi, who gives unto Lehi a book warning about destruction. Sounds very similar to Joseph Smith's second vision, doesn't it? He's giving a sign in the heavens in verses 8 through 10. That sign in the heavens comes from the apostle of the Lamb, whose name is John. His book is called Revelation, which by definition, revelation is to give the day and hour, the time, the date of the prophesied future event. Prophecy, revelation. Prophet, revelator. The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints' prophets and revelators outwardly proclaim, we will not prophesy, we will not reveal. They ain't gonna do it. And so they've redefined the words because of this. They will not predict the future. They will not reveal the day and the hour of the predictions of the future. And so revelator, prophet, simply means whatever they do as the title. They deny the power of predicting the future and revealing the future date. It's the way it is, Mormons, you know this. They will not do it. And so when Irene came out in 2023, I did remember after I saw the video and read over his clip. If you remember the video where I go over it. Yeah, I remember. He's wrong. This is an enemy tactic to say that there's a threat on the horizon, in the distant future, so that they can take you off guard and get you. So what is the threat? Distant future, this election. Bloodbath 2024. And the reverse, the false dichotomy pitting against each other. We're going to get our rights back in the future if you vote for me, if you pay me money. Bloodbath in the future. Follow me and you'll never go hungry again. Bloodbath. That's our choices. Isn't it great to live in America where we're free and follow the Constitution? Yeah. This is to put us off guard. So Kamala Harris announces she's now running for president. Biden's a quitter. And she steamrolls it. All this hype. You know, she's a brat. She's got endorsements from Taylor Swift, who now is a target for assassination. Celebrities all endorsing Kamala. Everybody rushed. This was record-breaking. Nominated as the presidential candidate. All hyped up. Oh, how long can Kamala keep this going? We're gonna give you back your rights, women, in the election. You have to vote for me. Pay me money. Then you'll get your rights back. And have you not noticed that AI has been sabotaging the fire sale? They've been testing the systems to see about a fire sale in the coming days. Do you know what a fire sale is? I think it's R-rated, although I'm not really sure how, other than violence and language. Maybe it's PG-13. Do we dare check and risk freezing the camera? I was terrorized last night. Seriously? This is why you got busted for antitrust laws, Google. You just won't stop, will you? You'll wait until you're punished before you do good. Die Hard 4. Seriously? With the internet, we no longer, in streaming services, we no longer need to care about rating systems. It is PG-13. Huh. Interesting. Yeah, it's a daddy-daughter movie. A continuation of the Christmas season quintology, isn't it? 5 movies. The final one in Russia is a father-son movie. Because of the precise wording of Revelation chapter 12, verses 1, 2, and 5, which I dropped the bombshell for you, that verse 5 is in chapter 6 of Isaiah, whereas 1 and 2 are chapter 7 of Isaiah. Give unto you a sign in the heavens, Virgo, clothed with the sun, moon under her feet, and on her head, Leo, has 12 stars. She's pregnant with Jupiter and gives birth. God sitting on his throne is verse 5, which is chapter 6 of Isaiah, which is verse 8 in the Book of Mormon. And there Joseph Smith is doing it too, remember? Exact same pattern match. Giving you the date for the start of the latter days. And then gives you the last year of the latter days and 9th Av. sets the date for destruction, when the enemy shall come in as a thief in the night and destroy this valley. I just revealed it to you. This is what they say. If it doesn't happen, you're going to blame me and say that the Book of Mormon is literal history true, and we just got to keep digging up America and we'll find the cows one of these days. And you're unaware that there's a big war over cows, whether we're going to have burgers or whether we're going to have soybean. As a kid, getting lunch in the cafeteria at Sierra Vista Elementary School, there's these lumps on my burgers, and it was gross, and I tried to scrape them off. And there were times where we weren't given ketchup or mustard, and they didn't taste like burgers. Now I find out that that kind of food is for women, for their estrogen. Boys have testosterone, and so those kinds of foods weaken testosterone and help estrogen. Did you know that? They were trying to emasculate us with our food. Give me my burger. Where's the beef? And yes, those jokes were flying around. Dave Thomas rules. We miss you. And so, yeah, that helped with my whole little redhead girl thing going on at the time. You had the Charlie Brown and Snoopy show with a little redheaded girl. And then there's other redheads that were involved in my life during that time period. So, yeah, little redheaded girl. Not that I would pass on a blonde or a brunette or a dark-haired. I have learned over the years that it's what's inside a woman's heart and mind that matters most. And women don't believe it. That's sad. She keeps changing her outward appearance to please a man when she never can please a man that way. Just doesn't work. Even though I got K9, I think it's K911. It was a trilogy by James Belushi, not John Belushi, the brother who survived. And became a big star, which I think he's pretty much out of the picture now. I don't think he's been doing much. He had a TV series, according to Jim, which is difficult to obtain because it's expensive and not really available. Yeah, Jim Belushi. He was in Red Heat. The Principal. I hope I have that one. That's Samuel L. Jackson also. It's a good one. So The Fury was his first one. He was a beach bum. The Cleansing, Thief. Sugar of Plain, Trading Places. Good one. The Best Legs in 8th grade. The Man with One Red Shoe. That was a good one. Salvador, About Last Night. Jumpin' Jack Flash. Little Shop of Horrors. The Principal, Real Men. I think that was a good one too, wasn't it? Yeah. Red Heat, Who's Harry Crumb, K9, Homer and Eddie, Wedding Band, Dementicare, Palmero. I'm not familiar with this one. The Palmero Connection. That's what it was released under. He's a target for assassination in that one. Taking care of business. Masters of Menace, Mr. Destiny, Abraxas. Hell yeah. With Mr. Governor. Jesse the Body Ventura. And the WWF. Only the Lonely. Diary of Hitman. Curly Sue. Once Upon a Crime. Traces of Red. Last Action Hero. Hell yeah. Royce. Parallel Lines. Should we use that as the theme song in the description below? I think so. There we go. Okay. Canadian Bacon. Yeah, he's done a lot of good stuff. Jingle All the Way. Dog's Best Friend. Wag the Dog. Dog, Dog, Dog. Well, K911. Wait a minute. That was the second one? K9PI was the third one. Okay. There we go. And then Underdog. Scooby-Doo. I'm seeing a dog pattern there. Thunderstruck! Yeah, apparently 2022 was his last movie, and he's got nothing planned in the future. Gigi and Nate. He did cartoons. Hey Arnold in 2017. So TV. Long credits for that one, yeah. Is he dead? Did he die in 2022? What the hell? No, he's still alive. He's just not doing anything. He stopped in 2022. That doesn't have anything scheduled. Sad. So, in case you're wondering if this is just a fluke in just the Book of Mormon, no. Did I tell you the date was 23rd September 2017? That's the Revelation 12 date. It's astronomy, it's a science. Christians have to deny it. They have to deny the power of revelation and prophecy in order for their church to be true. Right, Mormons? Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints will not predict the future nor give you the time of the predicted future events. They have to deny Revelation chapter 12 verses 1, 2, and 5. They have to deny 1 Nephi chapter 1 verses 8 through 10. They have to deny section 45. Verse 20. The destruction of the Jerusalem temple. Guess what the date is? This is the Romans, not the Babylonians. Again, 9th Ave, 70 CE. Interesting. In the Babylonian calendar, the 9th of Av is 9/11. Using the manner of dating in Exodus, Leviticus, and Numbers. Day first, then the month. 9/11. This is the original 9/11. And you thought it was 2001 that started it. And maybe some of you are aware that Poppy Bush, whom Trump threw under the bus and said was responsible for murdering Kennedy with the CIA, that 9/11 happened in America because of Poppy Bush and a CIA operation in Chile on 9/11. There's other 9/11s that pertain to it. Illuminati, you've come to take control. And yeah, the Mountain Meadows Massacre, 9/11. They love this date. They love to mock the Jews. And so, also interesting, Rome invaded on the 7th of Av, 3 years earlier, in 67. It took them 3 years to finally destroy the temple on 9th Av. Babylonians, no, 2 days. 3 years for Rome, 2 days for Babylon. And yet Joseph Smith in section 45 is not talking about the Roman period. Verse 15, it's a prophecy, just like those Bible authors. It's not literal history in the Bible? Yeah. 9th of Av is the prophesied date for destruction. This is the last year of the latter days. We have 2 eclipses, solar eclipses, with their accompanying lunar eclipses. This last year, on the last day of both the religious and the civil Jewish calendars. The religious calendar already happened. Purim was the lunar eclipse, the book of Esther. And then October 2nd is the second lunar or solar eclipse. And lunar eclipse also is in that time. They're not really connected to anything Jewish other than the last day of the civil calendar. But 8 April 2024, Revelation 19, 11, and 17. Where did Jesus go? What happened to him? Is he having bladder problems? It's too bad you don't know the Hebrew text of Elijah versus the priests of Baal, which, 8 April 2024 is when that date was. Hilarious. He just mocks the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Now, it is very clear this whole time, trying all different ways, all different manners of presentation to help teach you, to be blatant in your face, to mock you, to get you all riled up and to prove me wrong, which obviously you can't, and so then you'd have to accept that this is true. All different tactics, trying to tell you you're in danger. And you turn me into the enemy. When you're the enemy, you're being used by the enemy to be the enemy. To divert away, church is true, we're never going to be destroyed, the priesthood will remain on the earth, no amens whatsoever. Yeah, I died with Joseph Smith. You're not getting it. Erection, Joseph Smith. Insurrection, Brigham Young. Resurrection, me. And you can't believe it. It's got to be Jesus. And so therefore I've got a Messiah complex. I need psychological abuse. You do know they're getting arrested and thrown in prison these days? They're not legitimate. They don't help anybody. They are abusers. Those of you who are LGBTQIAPO+, who do you think ran the conversion therapy? Psychologists. So why are you parroting what they told you to say to accept that you are mutant subhumans? So now you're their cash cow. They finally got you. Where in the beginning you had to be forced in, being tricked by bullies. You're gay. What you're wearing is gay. What you listen to is gay. What you say is gay. What you do is gay. The 80s, the homophobic 80s. And if you believed it, then they said, you are subhuman. You're mutants. You're not normal. And you fell for it. You accepted it. You embraced it. And now you have holy days celebrated in America. You're getting it passed around the world. Subhuman Day. And you've forgotten the Constitution. As you're demanding new laws just for you and nobody else. 14th Amendment, Section 1. Everybody is protected under that one, except that the Supreme Court overthrew it. So now nobody's protected. Blacks are protected. Those of other color are protected. Women are protected. The poor are supposed to be protected. Thus, they're not supposed to be poor because they're supposed to be protected. Religions are supposed to be protected. LGBTQIAPO+ are supposed to be protected. But SCOTUS destroyed it. Oh, but if you vote for Harris, you'll get it all back. Really? They're not doing anything now. Why would they do anything if you vote for Harris and she wins? Your rights are gone. We are told we're going to have a bloodbath. Oh, but the DOJ is threatening not to decertify the election. Really? And what has the DOJ done for saving America now? Nothing. They waited until the last moment to finally sue Trump. And he's getting away with it. He's running for president. Section 3. Anybody read it? He's not allowed to run. Senator Lee was not allowed to run. We've got a whole bunch of insurrectionists that need to be locked up. Yeah, we are doomed. You're all being played. So, yeah, the election, that's a backup in case 9/11 doesn't happen or fails. It's going to happen. It's prophesied. It's not like they failed in 2020. Because that's the whole thing, is that the government was supposed to be destroyed in 2020. And then America is divided into states, sovereign states with kings as governors. Church gets their kingdom back. And those of you who realized that I was your Christ and that I parted the waters and you were supposed to come with me on the 70 on dry land to go to Zion in southern Illinois, we were going to be building Zion all these years. Oops. And so then the weather destroys the nation during this time, and then Mormons from around the world make it to Zion for April 2024. Wasn't that awesome? That was so cool. Hey, it's Jesus. You're not Jesus. I saw Jesus in a video. You're not him. I am gonna bust up laughing if Jesus, after the destruction, says, "Here I am, follow me, guys." Okay, Jesus. Oh my God. And so, yeah, they were purposely selected. They have extra rules and laws they have to follow to be Jesus. Just like Ronald McDonald. Oh, dear God, Mormons. You do not see the danger that I see coming. Because you did not study, you will have nowhere to turn to. You'll just trust whoever stands up and asserts himself. And that's dangerous. Because you do know the story of the Zoramites, right? They got kicked out because they were poor. And if it wasn't for Alma and Amulek to teach them the truth, if they were subjected to the priests of King Noah, hey guys, we're now your leaders. Yeah, they would have been put right back into the fire that they were in with the Zoramites. Getting up at the pulpit of the church all around the world last Sunday, a rammy-umptum, saying the same old things because they don't want to be recorded and put on social media as saying something stupid and outlandish. I'm a kooky Mormon. I'm on social media. So, are you spreading the warning? No. YouTube purposely, in this final couple weeks, has purposely tanked my views more than normal. They are the enemy. I'm trying to save your lives, and YouTube doesn't want my warning voice out. The federal government is not listening to me. I'm doing all I can. I can't do anymore. And yeah, I'm going to get people advertising to me. Hey, pay me money and I'll get you more views. Whenever I do a video talking about how Wikipedia still does not have me on it, I get an email. I understand you don't have a Wikipedia page. Pay me and I'll make one for you. Oh my God, con men everywhere. Nobody cares to save your lives. Joseph Smith was trying to save your life. They got the Book of Mormon published to save your life. I'm here trying to save your life. And yeah, I'm getting very frustrated and annoyed and irritated. all the different pictures, all the different video presentations. It doesn't matter whether they're long or short, you won't listen. The church has to be true at all costs, and you have no clue that they're the enemy. You have no clue that this is not Joseph's church. Nothing is the same. That this church is Constantine's Christianity, with one and only one difference. The nature and character of Jesus is non-Trinitarian. Everything else, replacing the Jews, is still the same. And so thus Mormons say Jesus was a Jew. See, he's in the Book of Mormon. Joseph Smith says the name Jesus. Therefore we're Christian. Therefore he's literal history. Therefore the scriptures are literal history. And you deny prophecy and revelation. You got conned. Now if you're a descendant from the Danites, and you know you are, then yeah, you know you're evil. You know you're the enemy. And you don't care. You get angry, just like Laman did to Nephi. I'm trying to take away your authority. You're the one who's supposed to rule and take away people's agency. Because your version is perfect and will save everyone. They just have to obey you. You can't trust people to give them their freedom and live their own lives. You have to take away their rights to life, liberty, and property and force upon them Project 2025. You don't get it, Mormons. You know that's Lucifer's plan of happiness. You know you follow Lucifer. When you disregard my videos, you are disregarding Joseph Smith in the Book of Mormon. You are following Lucifer. And yet you claim Book of Mormon is true, and you cry, "It's so true! Joseph Smith, he died for us!" Yeah, because he's Messiah ben Joseph, a Jewish Christ of prophecy. Second Nephi chapter 3. We're done. I don't know what else to do. I get inspired. I have a whole bunch of backlog stuff that I'm still not going to get to. This was a new version, but we were able to take down several of these with this video. What does it take, Mormons? If you do not believe the word, what will it take? Destruction. That's the only way to humble you. You have to be compelled to be humble, because you will not do it with your agency. And that's why you take away the agency of others, is because you can't trust them to have free agency. And so you think you got to take it away. And so when you are someone who thinks you've got to take away the agency of others, you yourself need to have your agency taken away from you, because you can't be trusted. You're the enemy. See how it works? Beam and mode. All these blatantly obvious clues. I am a prophet, I am a seer, I am a revelator, I am a translator of Paleo, Hebrew, and Egyptian, because I deciphered them. Blatantly obvious if you were to simply judge me by my fruit. Matthew chapter 7, plagiarized in the Book of Mormon in 3rd Nephi. And you won't do it. You are blinded by titles that deny the power thereof. You refuse to judge them. Yeah, you're supposed to judge. Matthew 7. What was verse 1? Yeah, you all quote it. You can't judge me. Yeah, we can. Keep reading. By their fruits ye shall judge them. Dumbasses all. Dumbasses all.